Hey everyone, this is Jairo Morales from The Grind Fitness and welcome to my channel. On this channel, you're going to learn how to take care of your body while we do this wonderful sport called Jiu-Jitsu. Everything from joint strength training classes to mobility classes, as well as yoga and many other professionals to teach you what is the best path for you and your Jiu-Jitsu journey. If you haven't already, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You know what to do. Share this with somebody if you think this might help the community to be able to take care of their body for their journey on Jiu-Jitsu. Oos, guys. Hope to see you on the mat.
Hey everyone, Tyler here with another Recovery Sunday with Wellness for Jiu-Jitsu. Thanks for joining us. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Today I've got something kind of special for you. It's calling yoga for scoliosis. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I did come in contact with one recently. My wife has been dealing with back pain, bulging disc, and recently diagnosed scoliosis in her back. And I was able to attend one of her sessions with her new posture specialist, physiotherapist. And the poses that she gave Cynthia to work on in order to correct her scoliosis were basically all poses that I've been doing for a long time with yoga, poses that I've taught you if you've been here for previous Recovery Sundays. And so I'm going to teach those poses, and I just think it's amazing the power of these positions. And now usually with the scoliosis, Cynthia has a kind of Z-shaped curve. You might have an S the opposite way. So you're going to do these poses with different durations on either side in order to compensate for those things. Today we're just going to do a balanced practice of the poses. Again, I'm not trying to cure anyone of scoliosis here, but that this is the power of these poses that a high-level doctor is showing people yoga poses in order to fix their scoliosis. So that's pretty incredible. Starting out today, just in a tabletop position. And the first one we're going to do is a strengthening position, just adding strength to primarily to the erectors, the muscles that run along the sides of the spine, because those are the muscles that we need to be strong in order to hold our spine in good position, proper posture. So depending on which side you're feeling pain, maybe it feels better to do this on one side longer than the other. Feel free to listen to your body. That's the most important thing here. We're just going to do 3 breaths on both sides of this balancing tabletop position. So first, engaging your core, making your table nice and strong, and then making your left arm really strong so that you can lift your right arm. Right arm goes straight in front of you, and then left leg goes back. Maintain that pelvic alignment so you're not tipping to one side, keeping everything nice and straight, reaching forward, stretching back, flexing or pointing the toe. Just holding that for 3 breaths. And on the exhale, come back to the center of the table. Now, if it feels good, maybe you didn't warm up or anything before this, that's okay too. You can work, or you can bring a little bit of spinal movements, maybe cat-cows, just something that feels good, or rocking forward and backward. Make sure you're breathing. And we're going to go for the other side. So a balancing table, this time right arm stays strong, left arm goes forward, and right leg goes back. One straight line. Make your neck relaxed, your face relaxed. Engage your core, glutes, leg and arm, stretching and balancing. 2 more breaths. Let that go back to center. A couple more times on each side, getting warmed up. This shouldn't be too easy, should be challenging. Right arm out, left leg back. 3 breaths. Straight and strong. back to center. Move around a little bit. If you need to sit back on your heels and take a breath, no problem. Do what feels good for you. When you're ready, right arm strong, left arm, right leg, straight line, strong, balancing table. One more nice big deep breath. Set it down. One more each side on your own. 3 breaths. Right arm. Left arm. Nice. The prescription that my wife has given was to do 3 breaths 10 times and only on the side that she needs to correct. So that can give you a little reference point and a place to explore with your own body. But we're going to move on to a low lunge. So getting to the low lunge from a tabletop, we're going to move our right leg up to where our hands are. So if it's hard to move that foot, you can reach and grab your right ankle with your right hand and just move it like in between your hands. But so your knee, your back knee, and your right foot are about in line with your hips. Once you feel that, then start to feel the stretch in your left leg and in the front of your left leg, back of your right leg, maybe adjusting the back knee straight back till you feel a good even stretch. Sink your hips low and then bring your hands up to your hips. And just sitting in this position, really stretching the front of your left hip so we can engage our glutes, tucking the tailbone down, pelvic tilt backwards, driving that hip forward and down as the shoulders open, chest opens, maybe even head looks back a little bit. Elbows can draw back. After 5 breaths, we'll let this go. Hands back to the mat. And then back to a tabletop. Just reset your spine here. Take a deep breath. And we're going to go to the other side. So balance into your right arm and walk that left foot. Maybe reach and grab it. Move it in line with your hands. Knee and foot are in line with your hips, maybe just a little bit outside. So your hips are really squared to the front. Adjust your back knee so that the bend in your front knee is just about 90 degrees. The knee is tracking right over the ankle. And then tuck your tailbone. That should turn on the stretch in the front of your right leg even more. Pull your shoulders back. Lift your chest up and sink your hips down. Two more big breaths. Nice. Coming back to your hands, back to a tabletop. Wiggle your hips. We'll do 5 more breaths on each side. The prescription to balance out my wife's curved back is to do 20 worth of breathing on one side and 10 on the other. So we'll just do 5 more each side. Right foot forward, low lunge, adjust your back knee so the hip stretch feels good and you feel solid. Balancing so you can come up, hands to hips, sinking your hips low, knee over ankle, pull your shoulders back, lift your chest, look up, breathe. our last big deep breath. Hands to the mat, tabletop, shake it out. Left ankle to the front of your mat, left foot. Low lunge. Make the adjustment so that the pose feels strong, yet you feel a stretch. Focusing more on the right hip with the right leg back, but even the left hip can feel it. Once it feels good, lift your chest and breathe. If you're feeling unstable, think about pressing that back foot, top of the back foot, into the earth. Last big deep breath, let it go. And back to a tabletop. And here we're just going to push up into a downward facing dog, lifting hips, tucking toes, bending knees, dropping head. From here, walking your hands back to meet your feet. Nice forward fold. Take a breath. Hang your head. Relax your back. Nice and easy, rolling all the way up to standing. And those were a little added transition poses, but next one is to spread your legs nice and wide. Not too far so you feel an intense stretch on your inner thighs, but just so you feel a nice balance here. And then turn your right toes towards the front of your mat or the back, depending which way you're facing. And the alignment of foot to foot, heel to inner arch is what you're looking for alignment. And then begin to bend the front knee to a place that's just over the ankle. Feel a stretch. If you don't feel a good stretch, you can walk that stance a little bit deeper. So we've got our legs in position. Raise your arms out to a T. And we're moving into an extended side angle pose, bringing right elbow to right thigh, stacking everything in a nice line, and then left arm up and over your ear to make a straight line from foot to fingertips. Breathe deep here, really looking to stretch the left side of the lower back, quadratus laborum. It's kind of the target area, but we're also building strength in our legs. As we reach and elongate that left side of our rib cage and lower back. Maybe even look up to your hand. Looking for 5 nice breaths here. Should be about 5. Come back up to center. Turn both of your feet to face the front. Fix your alignment. You move your hips a little bit. We'll move on to the next side. Turning left toes to the front of the mat or back. Alignment of foot to inner arch of back heel. And then begin to bend the front knee so that it's over the ankle. Left arm on top of the knee or thigh. And then reach over your right ear with your right hand, taking a straight line, right fingertips to right foot. Try not to collapse into that lower bottom shoulder. Press away. Long, straight spine. 2 more big, deep breaths. Reach so much that you feel this part, this hip bone to rib cage area of your lower side back stretching. Very nice. Nice and easy, back up to center. I'll do one more on each side. This time right toes out. Extended side angle pose. Sinking in to a bended front knee. Stacking your elbow on top of that knee. And reaching over your head. If you need to make an adjustment, keep the front foot where it is, but move the back foot either further or closer to the front foot, depending on what feels nice to you. One more nice big deep breath, and press yourself back up to equal standing, and we'll do the last repetition on the left side for this class. Turning your left toes out to the short edge of your mat, heel in line with your right arch. Looking for 90 degrees, but that's only if you have enough hip flexibility. Knee over ankle, elbow, knee, reach. Try not to lean or fall forward. Keep that top shoulder rolling back. If you look up to your hand, it can help to create that opening in the shoulders. Just remember to press through that lower shoulder. 2 more nice deep breaths. And back to the middle. Back to normal standing position. I know you can't really see my head, but we're going to skip this next pose because it requires a doorway, and I don't have one in view here, but we're calling it cactus in a door. It's just a way to really open up your pectoral muscles. So standing in the doorway, so your arms are on the outside, and then just kind of leaning forward so it opens up your chest area. That's another one. Or you can also do one arm along the wall, just stretching the front of your shoulder and pectoral, because those muscles can help round our back and add to the curvatures into our spine. And the rest of the poses we're going to be doing are on the ground. So make your way down to the ground, and we'll start in a child's pose. So bring your big toes to touch behind your butt and your knees as wide as feels good. More narrow knees is going to increase the stretch in your lower back, and wider knees is going to bring the stretch more into your hips and give your lower back more space to move. So start with your knees a little bit wider, and then just keep your weight back on your heels and walk your hands forward. Yeah, and if you start to feel your upper back stretching a lot here and your head's not to the mat yet, you could grab a block or even make fists with your hands and just rest your forehead on your hands. But you want to start to feel your upper back begin to sink down. Maybe walk your fingers another inch or two forward once your forehead is on the mat. So the lat muscles, latimus dorsi, grand dorsal, begins to open up, stretch, relax. And also your lower back and hips are probably getting a nice stretch too. Prescription for 10 breaths here. Really important pose for jiu-jitsu players, and I think for everyone who sit in chairs, sit in cars. This is a nice way to compress our legs and let our back relax with gravity. Just bringing your awareness into your body, into those sensations. Take one more deep breath. Come up and out just a little bit so that you can walk your hands over to the left side. I like to aim for like the line that my knee is making. So in front of my knee, and then sinking head back to the mat, keeping the right hip heavy back on the heel, and creating a nice stretch along the whole right side of the body. You can adjust and make it from your pinky finger down to your right hip crease, but really aiming for the right dorsal muscle, the lat on the right side, rib cage area. So feel that stretch and then relax into it. Use the breath. Use the exhale. Find more relaxation. One more nice big deep breath. Child's pose side stretch. And then moving slow. Walk yourself to the right side, keeping your hips back on your heels. You can stack your hands on top of each other. Left on right, right on left. I like to try to put my right on left, and that allows me to relax my left arm even more as my head and hips sink low, getting really heavy. And then breathing into the left side of the body. If you feel like you're compressing in the right side, walk your hands a little more forward, keeping a long spine. Last big deep breath. Back to center. Coming on to our butt, crossing your legs, sitting back, however is easy. And then lying down on your back, moving into some reclined poses. So first, make sure your back is nice and flat on the mat. Maybe tucking your shoulder blades underneath a little bit. And then, bending your knees and bringing your right ankle on top of your left knee, reaching your right arm in between your legs and grabbing either your left thigh or left shin, interlacing your fingers there. And then trying to relax your back fully onto the mat as you open your right knee, pressing your right knee away from you. Even your arms stay relaxed. Just your fingers are working enough to hold the grip that you need to stretch your right outside hip. Hugging it as much as feels nice on your right hip. We talk about the breathing we do in restorative yoga. It's slowing down the breath, expanding the breath, adding more volume, and breathing with our nose, at least the inhale with the nose if possible. Exhale with the mouth is nice, or just breathing with the nose. Eyes can remain closed. This is the kind of yoga that adds flexibility and calms the nervous system, has the ability to get into the fascia. And that's why can help to correct imbalances in the spine, because you're learning how to relax, and it's the muscles that are overcompensating for the spine that causes those imbalances. So we do have to strengthen muscles on the opposite side, but also just getting those muscles to relax and allowing them to come back to that centered position. And the hips, tight hips can be a source of major imbalances as we do things more dominantly with one leg than the other, or one shoulder more than the other. We create those muscular imbalances, and those lead to structural imbalances. So this is a pose that we can do for a long time, but if you're ready to switch, we'll switch to the left ankle on top of the right thigh, right knee. Find a spot that feels like a good stretch in the left outside of your leg and hip, and then reach your left hand in between your legs through the figure four, interlace fingers, thigh or shin. Relax your shoulders, maybe even pressing your tailbone into the mat. If you feel it rounding up, think about pressing it away, and pressing this left knee away from your head. You can do it with your hand. That's a different kind of stretch, or just with your muscles. Don't strain your muscles, don't push too hard, but just a little bit of engagement helps to move the stretch in the direction that we want. If it feels complicated, just relax and breathe. Your body knows what to do. And if you listen to your body, it will tell you what it needs. In my opinion, the true essence of yoga is really listening to your body. So another version of this stretch, for a reclined stretch for the hips, is if we have the right ankle and the right knee, we're just going to cross it even further so that our thighs, we're crossed at the thighs. Your knees are almost in a line, and then you can reach to your top knee and hug your knees in. It's a reclined cow face stretch in yoga. Another grip that feels good is to bring both of your hands to the tops of your feet. And then same thing, we're trying to relax as much as we can. Just feel that sensation in your hips. Probably different from side to side. And this pose is probably a lot different than the figure four. Spend time in both of them. And just allow your hips to open up. Open hips will help to release the muscles in your lower back. And those are the big, strong muscles that once those relax can create further muscle alignment, stability in the rest of your spine. Nice and easy, switching to cow face on the other side. Crossing left leg over right. If you didn't have it the opposite way before, nice tight crotch. Tight crotch, yeah. Squeeze your crotch with your cross, but a nice tight cross of your legs. And then either hugging both of those legs into your chest, pressing your tailbone down into the earth. Feel that stretch, or switch for a shin grip or tops of your feet. Find something that feels kind of intense, not too intense. Come out of it a little bit and then breathe. Take a couple more breaths. I hope that feels good. And the last pose, I'm going to walk you into it and then say goodbye because I'm already at 30 minutes. So if you got to be done, I don't want to keep you or anything, but the last pose is leg up the wall. And you can actually do this pose without a wall, just kicking your feet up in the air. You don't have to lock them straight. You can keep a little bend in your knees, but just changing that gravity and keeping your lower back, that tailbone nice and relaxed and flat on the ground. Just allow your whole spine to relax here. I think it's a little bit better if you can do it against a wall. Just try to get your butt as close as you can to the wall. And then for the physiotherapist, as she taught this pose, she was saying some kind of cool things for leg engagement here to strengthen the butt region, the glutes, and some of the big muscles in the hip area, is to press your heels away, flex your feet back, so pulling your toes to your shin, and then keeping that ankle position, curl your toes. And then hold that there. Keep pressing your heels, flexing your feet, and curling your toes. Might create some cramps. You can either breathe through those or crack and pop them out with your ankles and toes, and then find that again. Flexing your feet, curling your toes. Like that. Try it with your hands too. It feels kind of good. Press your heels, curl your fingers. Cool. Hold that for 5 to 10 breaths. Massage your feet a little bit. Feel free to stay there as long as you want. It's another great pose you can stay in for hours. Legs up the wall if you got the time. Your body will thank you, and I hope your body will thank you for putting this half hour work in with us and maybe learning a little bit about some poses that can have magical curative properties for your spine, for your body, and hopefully for your life. That's what we're here to do. Recovery Sundays, Wellness for Jiu-Jitsu. This is a donation-based class, so we're still waiting for our first donation. Feel free to throw a little cheddar our way, but we love you either way. See you next week.